Welcome to our channel. Today, we're going to summarize Hamlet Acts 1 and 2. Hamlet Act 1 is the opening act of William Shakespeare's famous play, Hamlet. The act lays the foundation for the story's central conflicts, introduces key characters, and sets the tone for the rest of the play. The play begins with a sentry, Francisco, on his watch outside the castle of Elsinore in Denmark. Another sentry, Bernardo, arrives to relieve him, and they discuss the strange happenings in the castle. Bernardo claims to have seen a ghost, which resembles the recently deceased King Hamlet. Horatio, a scholar and friend of Prince Hamlet, arrives and they invite him to see the ghost. Horatio is skeptical, but agrees to witness the apparition. The ghost appears, and Horatio addresses it as the former king. He is disturbed and frightened by the ghost, and the sentries decide to inform Hamlet of the sighting. Meanwhile, in the castle, King Claudius, the brother of King Hamlet, has just married his sister-in-law, Queen Gertrude, and has assumed the throne. The scene then shifts to Prince Hamlet, who is mourning the death of his father. He is upset by his mother's quick remarriage to Claudius, and he expresses his grief and frustration in a soliloquy. He is also deeply disturbed by the ghost sighting and decides to go and see the ghost for himself. In the next scene, the court gathers to hear from ambassadors from Norway. The ambassadors explain that the young Prince Fortinbras of Norway wishes to reclaim some of his father's lost territory, which Denmark currently holds. Claudius sends Cornelius and Voltimand, two courtiers, to Norway to negotiate with Fortinbras' uncle, the current king of Norway. After the court is dismissed, Hamlet meets with Horatio and the sentries to see the ghost. The ghost appears and reveals that he is indeed the ghost of King Hamlet, and that he was murdered by Claudius. He asks Hamlet to avenge his death, and Hamlet swears to do so. In the final scene of Act 1, Polonius, the chief counselor to Claudius, advises his son Laertes, who is about to leave for France, to be careful and to behave with dignity. He then advises Ophelia, his daughter, to stay away from Hamlet, as he believes that Hamlet's affections towards her are not sincere. Overall, Act 1 of Hamlet sets the stage for the rest of the play, introducing key themes such as revenge, grief, and the corrupt nature of the court. It also establishes the main conflicts, including Hamlet's desire for revenge, his complicated relationship with his mother, and his love for Ophelia. The appearance of the ghost provides a supernatural element to the play, and sets in motion the events that will lead to Hamlet's eventual downfall. Hamlet Act 2 continues the story of Shakespeare's tragedy, delving deeper into the characters' motivations and desires, and further developing the central conflicts of the play. The act begins with Polonius sending his servant Reynaldo to spy on Laertes in France, hoping to gather information about his son's behavior. Meanwhile, at the castle, Claudius and Gertrude are concerned about Hamlet's recent behavior, and they ask Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, two of Hamlet's childhood friends, to help them discover the cause of his distress. Hamlet enters, and he engages in a series of cryptic and sarcastic exchanges with Polonius, who is convinced that Hamlet is insane. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern arrive, and they attempt to cheer Hamlet up, but he quickly sees through their intentions and expresses his frustration with their attempts to manipulate him. In the next scene, Hamlet delivers his famous, "to be or not to be," soliloquy, contemplating the nature of life and death and considering whether it is better to continue living or to end his life. He ultimately decides to continue living, but his despair is clear. Polonius then brings in Ophelia to speak with Hamlet, hoping to discover the cause of his madness. Hamlet speaks to her in a sexually suggestive manner, causing her to become upset and confused. Polonius decides that Hamlet's behavior is due to his unrequited love for Ophelia and reports this to the king and queen. In the final scene of Act 2, a group of traveling actors arrive at the castle, and Hamlet welcomes them. He becomes excited when he realizes that they are able to perform a play that he has requested, which he hopes will confirm his suspicions about Claudius' guilt in his father's murder. He asks them to perform the play within the play in front of the court the following evening. Overall, Act 2 deepens the conflicts established in Act 1, with Hamlet's behavior becoming increasingly erratic and the tension between him and the other characters intensifying. The introduction of the traveling actors and their play within the play adds a layer of intrigue to the story. as Hamlet's plan to confirm Claudius' guilt begins to take shape. The act also continues to explore themes such as love, betrayal, and the corrupt nature of the court, and further develops the complex characters of Hamlet, Polonius, and Ophelia. Thanks for watching. To read the full version of the book, click on the link in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for similar content.